Dr. Graeme Codrington is an internationally renowned author, keynote presenter, and strategy consultant. Graeme has a particular interest in helping companies to understand the massive societal shifts taking place around the world at the moment that impact on their ability to attract and retain talented staff and customers.
Now there seems to be a conflict here because the demands are increasing in the corporate world, and yet we're talking about a softer environment.
There is a paradox, but the paradox is between talented people who genuinely want to graft hard and work environments that respect the fact that someone who's putting that much effort in needs to be protected.
And now, of course, BlackBerries. No longer are we interrupted at our suppers by telephone calls. Our family meals are interrupted by emails now. How did we let that happen? Taking a laptop home and BlackBerries and so on. There is no such thing as work-life balance. What we need is work-life integration. You see, those technologies that have allowed work to come home with you should also be allowed to bring home into the office.
And what they are doing is they're coming in and saying, we don't just want to tweak, we don't just want to make one or two little changes here or there. What we want to do is completely change how we do business. Get rid of the hierarchies, pay people, just one example, pay people for their contribution, for their outputs rather than their inputs. So we say, why, if you finished your week's work by Wednesday, why can't you go home? You have to make up work for Thursday and Friday because we pay you for being there.
For being there, yeah.
Rather than paying you for the speed and quality of the work that you produce. And today's young people are saying, no, but if I work harder and if I work better than anyone else, I should be paid more. Or not just paid more, but there should be better benefits for me.
Graeme has 5 degrees from 5 different universities in 5 different faculties, ranging from commerce, arts and theology to sociology, and a doctorate in business administration with majors in leadership and future studies. Graeme is the author of 2 best-selling books on the impact of different generations on the workplace. His best-selling book, published in 2004 by Penguin, is entitled Mind the Gap and deals with the issues of the generation gap. Graeme has travelled the world presenting his keynote presentation based on the content of this book.
If we want to understand other people, actually we have to understand ourselves. And that's what I'm going to help you to do this evening by taking you back to when you were 10, to what was going on in the world when your value system was being shaped and formed. Now, I need your help for that because I wasn't there when you were 10. So I need you to go back in your minds to when you were 10. Just quickly, what was going on in the world?
Graeme is one of the co-founders of a business strategy consultancy called TomorrowToday.biz. The TomorrowToday.biz approach to presentations is to use high-impact, multimedia-driven, edutaining presentations. We believe that it is no longer good enough to just dump data onto people or to bore them to death in conferences and workshops. We believe that it is essential to offer high-quality, well-researched content in an exciting and vibrant package that captures not only the mind, but also the attention of the heart and soul. Graeme has a special ability to capture the essence of fairly complex pieces of information and wide-ranging fields of interest, and pull them together in easy-to-understand frameworks that he makes accessible to every person at all levels of the organization. He is able to bring things down to the simplest level to create a shared vocabulary amongst all staff at all levels. And yet he is able to work at the highest strategic levels with the senior leaders in companies across virtually every industry. Graeme has presented on almost every continent and is sought after around the world for his expertise in understanding people and how companies can get the most out of their talented staff.
Why should people buy from you? Because you're selling the same stuff as everybody else. You're selling it to the same people, in the same way, distributing through the same channels, at the same price, advertising in the same media. And hey, some of the big corporates even swap staff every few years. Why should anybody buy from you? I think you've heard the answer all through today. It's not about what you're selling anymore, it's about who you are.
You see, the old contract, if you like, my father's workplace, had a very clear contract between employer and employees. Basically, as an employee, I would come to you. I would sell your products and your services to your clients in your way, using your systems, at your price, and I might even wear your company tie while I was doing it. But in exchange for making myself that unmarketable, the company had something they could offer me. That something was security, was the ability for me to look far into the future and know that I could keep this job as long as I wanted it. In other words, loyalty was exchanged for security. The question I've got to ask is, how many companies can offer security these days?
How are you going to take your business, what you do, 5, 10, 20 years into the future? I'll be honest with you, if you're in your job just to make a quick buck over the next 3 or 4 years, then my presentation's not for you. But it's about how you're going to build a sustainable business that includes this young generation.
Graeme is a regular contributor to top business journals and magazines and is sought after by the media for his commentary and analysis.
Talk Radio 702.
Our guest this afternoon is Dr. Graeme Codrington, who's head of intellectual capital at TomorrowToday.biz.
Graeme Codrington heads up the intellectual capital division of TomorrowToday.biz, and he joins me in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us, Graeme.
Great to be here.
So here to do a little crystal ball gazing with me is an expert on the subject, Graeme Codrington. Graeme, nice to have you with me in the studio.
Thanks, Michael.
Well, that's very much a thing of the past, says trendsetter and futurist Graeme Codrington.
If you want a conference speaker like you've never had before, someone who will blow the socks off your audience, give a boost of energy and a breath of fresh air, yet with deep, insightful comment that will change the way that you and your people see your company and your market, then Dr. Graeme Codrington is your man.
He's going to give us a talk second to none. So please put your hands together for Graeme Codrington.
Graeme also constantly adapts his presentations for different countries, different industries and different companies. He works closely with clients to ensure that his vision supports the strategic intent of the organization that he is working with and delivers beyond their expectations. Graeme is consistently rated the best speaker that companies and associations have ever used and is invariably the highest rated speaker on any conference that he speaks at. For more information or to contact Graeme directly, please see the Contact Us section of this DVD.